Joshua chapter 4, verse 16 says, "Command the priests bearing the ark of the testimony to come up out of the Jordan." Now, this is, again, God is speaking to Joshua. He's giving him direction, giving him leadership. Joshua is now to command, tell them what to do, lead the people. Command the priests who are still in the midst of the Jordan. They're still standing on the dry riverbed. The 12 men have come. They have grabbed their stones. Joshua has set up the pillar within the riverbed. And now God says to Joshua, command the priests bearing the ark of the testimony. Look at that. New word, not ark of the covenant, but ark of the testimony, to come up out of the Jordan River. So God is telling the priests now through Joshua to come up out of the Jordan, basically leave the river, and God is going to put the river back where it was. He's going to bring the water back. But they're going to have all been carried safely to the other side, into the promised land. But what I want to look at right here for a second is the ark of the testimony. A testimony is something you give in a court of law. It's something that we share with each other. Like, I'm sharing my testimony, but I'm just showing you, I'm sharing with you what has happened in my life, what God has done for me, or what I have seen firsthand, what I have witnessed. This is the ark of the testimony. Well, this was very significant for the nation of Israel, because inside the ark of the covenant, or the ark of the testimony that the priests were holding on to within the Jordan. I mean, one, this is testimony because if you remember in chapter 3, the people, they were not to go near the ark of the covenant. They were to stand, I think it was, in chapter 3, verse 4, 2,000 cubits in length away, basically so that all of Israel would be able to see. They'd be able to see exactly what God was doing as they were crossing over. This wouldn't be just like surrounded by people so that people wouldn't be able to see. They would all be able to see what God was doing, how God was kind of pictured in one sense as standing in the midst of the river, holding back all the water. This was a testimony for them. But what was included in the ark of the testimony, in the ark of the covenant here, were the 10 commandments, the 2 tablets of stone, they had the 10 commandments on them, which Moses received on Mount Sinai. This was certainly a testimony that even, especially the children, Joshua and Caleb would definitely, but the children would remember. It also had the jar of manna. God fed the Israelites manna from heaven for 40 years. God supplied every need that they had. He provided for them. That was in there. And then also Aaron's staff, his stick. It showed the people of Israel, they got to see firsthand because it budded. It actually, this is a lifeless stick. It's just a big staff, and yet it budded. Like something grew out of it. God was showing Israel that Aaron and his line, they were the priests that God had chosen. And this is certainly a testimony to the nation of Israel. They saw these things. They witnessed these things. Well, now they're witnessing the ark of the testimony in the midst of the Jordan, standing there. They're able to see all of this take place. And at the center is the ark of the covenant. Well, now it's the ark of the testimony. They have a testimony. So when they're telling people about this, when word is traveling, they're able to speak about this as their testimony. We saw this happen firsthand. We witnessed this. There is evidence for it. And so Joshua 4:16, command the priests bearing the ark of the testimony. It's not just the ark of the covenant, it's the ark of the testimony to come up out of the Jordan River. The people have testimony about all of this, and it goes back to what they saw that day with the ark of the covenant. Joshua 4:16.